The rapid growth of internet users in Malaysia has significantly contributed to the expansion of e-commerce businesses. Today, consumers have convenient access to digital platforms such as Shopee and TikTok, where they can easily purchase goods and services through online marketplaces. University students represent a major segment of online consumers because they are highly exposed to technology and have easy access to internet. However, despite the growth of e-commerce, student participation in online shopping is influenced by several behavioral factors. Previous study indicates that price advantages, promotional discounts, and better value for money are the key motivations. At the same time, psychological factors such as perceived risk and trust in online vendors also play an important role in shaping students' purchase intentions. A study by Wang and Ibrahim highlights that product reviews, promotional discounts, and trust in the seller's brand are among the most influential factors. Despite this rapid growth, issues such as online scams, delayed delivery, and inconsistent products quality may still affect student confidence in online platforms. Therefore, this study aims to examine the factors influencing university students' purchasing behavior through e-commerce in Malaysia.
Now we'll be talking about our research questions and objectives. These objectives will answer all of the questions. Firstly, which factors influence university students in Malaysia more to make purchases through e-commerce platforms? To answer this, our first objective is to determine the most influential factors that drive university students in Malaysia to make purchases through e-commerce platforms. Second question, how do perceived risks in online vendors influence the online purchase intentions of university students in Malaysia? Which corresponds with our objective is to assess the impact of perceived risk associated with online vendors on the purchase intentions of university students in Malaysia. And our third question asks, does trust in e-commerce platforms influence university students to purchase items online? To address this, our objective is to evaluate the influence of trust in e-commerce platforms on the online purchase decisions of university students in Malaysia. And our fourth question asks, is there a relationship between price advantage and the online purchase behavior of university students in Malaysia? Our objective based on here is to examine the relationship between price advantage and the online purchasing behaviors of university students in Malaysia. Our final question asks, how do key factors such as trust, perceived risks, and price advantage influence the online purchasing behavior of university students in Malaysia, in which aligns with our final objective, which is to analyze the influence of key factors such as trust, perceived risk, and price advantage on the online purchasing behaviors of university students in Malaysia. Thank you.
In this section, I will present the literature review and research framework for this study. One important factor discussed in the literature is trust. Many studies suggest that trust in online vendor play a crucial role in influencing purchasing behavior. Rahman 2024 found that trust significantly predicts student online purchase intention when students believe that online sellers are reliable and capable of delivering product as promised. They are more likely to complete transaction. However, other researchers emphasize the role of perceived risk as a major barrier to online purchasing. Perceived risk refer to the uncertainty and possible negative outcome associated with online shopping, such as payment security issue, privacy concern, and reserving products that do not match the description. A study among Tibet University students in Malaysia found that perceived risk still discourage many students from making online purchases. While some studies argue that trust can reduce perceived risk, others suggest that perceived risk continue influencing purchasing behavior even when trust exists. Another factor widely discussed in the literature is price advantage. University students are generally considered price sensitive due to limited financial resources. Therefore, they often compare price when shopping online in order to find better deals. Fadila 2024 found that discount and promotional offers significantly influence student use of e-commerce platform. Lower price, promotion, and special discount often encourage students to purchase product online. However, some researchers argue that price advantage alone may not guarantee long-term purchasing behavior if trust and risk concerns are not addressed. Therefore, this factor may interact in influencing student online purchasing decisions. Overall, the literature highlights three key factors influencing student online purchasing behavior, which is trust, perceived risk, and price advantage. However, many previous studies focus mainly on purchase intention rather than actual purchasing behavior. Therefore, further research is needed to examine how this factor influence the actual purchasing behavior of Malaysian university students.
So
So for research framework, based on the literature review, this study proposed that university student purchasing behavior through e-commerce is influenced by three key factors: trust in online vendor, perceived risk, and price advantage. In this study, university student purchasing behavior is the dependent variable, while trust, perceived risk, and price advantage serve as independent variable. The framework provides a structured model to examine how this factor influence student online purchasing behavior. The relationship between these variables will be tested using regression analysis. So for explanation of variable relationship, first, trust is expected to positively influence student purchasing behavior. When students trust online vendor and believe that seller will deliver product as promised, they are more likely to complete online transaction. Second, perceived risk is expected to have negative relationship with purchasing behavior. Concern about online fraud, payment script, privacy issue, or product quality may discourage students from purchasing through e-commerce platform. Third, price advantage is expected to positively influence purchasing behavior. Since students often have limited financial resources, they tend to look for better price and promotion when shopping online. Platforms that offer lower price or attractive discount are therefore more likely to encourage students to make purchases.
Next, the data collection procedure explains how the information for this study was gathered. The questionnaire was designed to collect data on student purchasing behavior through e-commerce platforms. The questionnaire consists of three main sections, which are demographic information, reciprocation, and suggestions. The demographic section collects basic information about the respondents, while the reciprocation on the variable used in this study views such as trust in online vendors, perceived risk, price advantage, and purchasing behavior. Most of the questions use a Likert scale, ranging from strongly disagree, neutral, agree, and strongly agree. This scale helps measure the level of agreement of respondents toward each stage. For the data collection process, the questionnaire was distributed through an online Microsoft form link. The link was shared through WhatsApp groups to reach university students easily and efficiently. The data collection was conducted from 1st March until 1st March 2036, and a total of 50 university students responded to the survey. Random sampling was used in this study to ensure that every university student had an equal chance of being selected as a respondent, which helps improve the fairness and reliability of the research study.
First, the collective analysis also involves 50 respondents from various universities in Malaysia. Therefore, the final sample size is n equals 50. Based on the demographic results, the majority of respondents are male and most of them are aged between 20 and 24 years old. In terms of education level, most respondents are bachelor degree students, while only a small number have a PhD qualification. The majority of respondents are Malay, followed by Chinese, Indians, and others. For income level, most respondents reported earning less than 500, indicating that the sample mainly consists of young university students with low personal income. Next, we analyze the independent variables, which are trust, perceived risk, and price advantage. The mean value for trust is 3.86, which indicates that respondents generally agree that trust influences their purchasing behavior through e-commerce. The standard deviation of 0.66 shows that the responses are relatively consistent among respondents. For perceived risk, the mean value is 4.14, showing that respondents are aware of possible risks when purchasing online, such as payment security and product quality. The standard deviation of 1.51 indicates that the responses are highly consistent. Meanwhile, the mean value for price advantage is 4.11, suggesting that respondents agree that better pricing offered by e-commerce platform influences their purchasing behavior. Students perceive online shopping as beneficial because of features such as discount, free shipping, and lower price. Moving on to the frequency analysis, the results show that most respondents selected agree or strongly agree for questions related to trust, perceived risk, and price advantage. In addition, 58% of respondents agreed or strongly agreed that they frequently purchase products through e-commerce platforms, indicating that online shopping has become a common practice among university students. Finally, the regression analysis was conducted to examine the relationship between the independent variables and purchasing behavior. The R-square value is 0.464, meaning that 46.4% of the variation in purchasing behavior can be explained by trust, perceived risk, and price advantage. The results show that price advantage has a significant relationship with purchasing behavior, while trust and perceived risks are not significant. In conclusion, the findings highlight that price advantage is the most influential factor affecting university students' purchasing behavior through e-commerce in Malaysia.